leave, all right? I'm a man, Gina. I'm gonna be all right. This is childish. I want you out. I don't even know why you still here. Step. Step.
It's Elias Sports, man. It's Lamont. We back with another podcast episode, man. Today, we just got some NBA highlights for you guys today. We're going to be doing a game breakdown of two particular games that I really wanted to just kind of slow down and walk you guys through some segments of each game where I really feel some of these teams that I want to emphasize can make some really big improvements. So before we get into all of that today, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. We're trying to close out December with a bang. So we're really going to be focused on putting out quality content, really growing the channel. Hopefully we can get to 18K subscribers by the end of the year. That's the goal for the channel. If you haven't done so already, again, make sure you guys go join our Facebook group, NBA GOAT Talk. Go join our Facebook group, NBA GOAT Talk. Again, you'll have the opportunity to kind of voice your opinion with a different crowd. They allow you to speak a bit more freely over there. We also go live when the games are on. So we do our live commentary over there on Facebook. So make sure you guys subscribe to us. Not just subscribe, but join the Facebook group NBA GOAT Talk. Make sure you look for the FYF Sports logo when you do so. But today, there are a couple of games that I wanted to do a breakdown on. We're also going to do just some general updates, some standing. We're going to check the standings, see where teams are. Again, I know it's very early in the season. As I said in the Steph Curry video and the video on the Golden State Warriors, again, it's just way too soon to overreact to any particular win or loss. But what we can do is we can break down these games. We can look at different segments of the game and kind of see where teams are going wrong, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, and how that might bode well going forward in the future. And it might allow you to give a better prediction of where you project these teams might fall going into the 30-35 point marker in the season, and then closing out going into those playoff races. So we're going to get into that, man. Like I said, we got our first game. We're going to do our first game breakdown. And I really want to go through this segment by segment because there are a couple of things I want to point out. The first game I want to talk about is going to be the Mavericks and the Clippers. All right, so the first game I want to do a game breakdown on is going to be the Mavericks Clippers. I really want to talk about what went wrong. As we all know, we saw the score at halftime. The Clippers were the first team in NBA history to be down by 50 at halftime. So I want to break down segments. And again, we know that Tyronn Lue said he's going to begin implementing aspects of the triangle offense. And so what I really want to emphasize today is why the triangle offense no longer works if you don't have the correct personnel in place, and why I felt going into this season when Tyronn Lue said he's going to implement segments of the triangle offense, why I felt like it would not work with this team. I don't think they have the playmakers. I don't think they have the personnel. I don't think they have the bigs, and they definitely don't have the scorer dynamic enough to dominate in the triangle. I mean, for as much as we want to say that Kawhi Leonard is that guy, obviously he didn't play today. He was out with injury. He got elbowed in the mouth the game before. He had 8 stitches in his mouth, so he may be out 1 or 2 games while that heals. And again, the triangle offense especially on a short preseason. I mean, we're looking at the Clippers maybe spent 2 to 3 weeks working on this. The triangle offense is one of the most complex offenses that you can run in basketball. And if this is something that they are implementing, and I did see them try to run it, and you botch it, you're going to look epically bad. And they were epically bad. They were down 50 at halftime. Again, it looks like you have a lot more questions than answers. And this is coming from one of the teams. This is coming from a team that before this game started was 2-0. So and remember what I said about the Warriors. Let's not overreact, because there are a lot of teams that are 2-0 right now that won't be in the playoffs. There are a lot of teams that are 0-2 right now that you will see in the playoffs. Things are going to look different. So again, we need to pump the brakes on overreacting, yelling out that guys are overrated after 2 games, especially coming into a season where the season's starting early. There was no training camp. There was no preseason. This is not the normal basketball atmosphere. This is not how these guys normally start the season. And a lot of these NBA guys operate off routine. All right, they have certain routines, and when you throw that routine and rhythm off, it may take them a while to get their footing. So again, I'm not gonna, I know this was an epic and historic loss. I'm not gonna trash the Clippers too bad, but I do want to go through these highlights to really showcase to you guys what went wrong and how they could potentially fix it going forward in the future. Let's get over here to these highlights of the game. All right, so we got these highlights here. Los Angeles Clippers, Dallas Mavericks, man. And I think this is the number one problem with the Clippers. Pat Beverly is their starting point guard. That's the number one problem when you're trying to run the triangle offenses. We see Paul George got off to a good start making his first shot. Here's the second problem right there. And I'm going to rewind that. That's early on. And again, on the Mavs scoring their first point of the game, how they guard the pick and roll is atrocious. And I noticed this against Denver. And this is how Denver in the playoffs were able to pick them apart. I'm going to go back just a little bit. I really want to see. I want you guys to see how they guard the pick and roll. What Pat Beverly does is he chases. But what happens is there's no big in the paint to ice. So normally in the NBA, at the NBA level, when guys are fighting over, most teams would love to have a guy who's as energetic as Pat Beverly fighting over and chasing down a guy. That's great. Pat Beverly is doing his job perfectly. But there's no big to ice, and if you don't have a big to ice to stunt the guy in front of you, then what's the point of going over? You might as well switch and just keep everybody in front of you. I want you guys to watch this. As he goes over, no ice. Serge Ibaka backs up instead of staying up to ice the screen. Doesn't trust his help behind him. More bad defense. It started with the overplay on the jump shot. There's no defense discipline. There we go, chasing. There's a weak ice. So here we go again. Serge Ibaka again and again. Serge Ibaka is going to have to. So the Clippers have to do a number of things. They can't play. You cannot play in between in the NBA on these pick and rolls. And so once again, we see Luka Doncic come off a pick and roll. Luke Kennard chases. He's doing his job correctly. But then you have Serge Ibaka, instead of standing his ground in the paint, he's backpedaling on his heels. See, what he needs to trust, what Serge Ibaka needs to do is he needs to trust that he has Nicholas Batum, and we see Nicholas Batum right here, and he has Paul George to help him on the backside. Serge Ibaka does not need to backpedal. Until Luke Kennard can recover, Serge Ibaka needs to ice the screen. All right, because he has help at the rim. All right, he doesn't need to worry about this corner three. That's not his job. That's Pat Beverly and Paul George. All right, but as a unit, they need to do a better job of figuring out how to guard the pick and roll, because just like we saw against Denver, they can get destroyed off the pick and roll. And this is going to be a consistent theme all night. Paul George, sloppy turnover, transition defense, easy score right there. And you cannot let teams get this type of momentum. Good take by Paul George. Here we go again, and I want to show you guys this again. Look at the effort by Paul George. Again, Paul George is supposed to be one of the more elite defenders in this league. Now, Paul George is supposed to be chasing and recovering. That means he chases over the screen, right? That means if to chase over a screen and you still allow the guy to shoot the three-point shot, that's on you. I want y'all to see this. Look at the effort by Paul George here. Look at the effort by Paul George on this pick and roll defense. All right. He chases over the screen. Now look at this. Right here, he needs to continuously apply pressure. What Paul George is more worried about doing, Paul George is so worried about selling a fake foul call off the screen that he's forgot about his man with the ball. I want y'all to watch this. He gives up. Look at Paul George, turns his back on the ball. He was hoping that the ref would call an illegal screen. The ref doesn't call anything. Serge Ibaka doesn't step up, but Paul George, as the leader of this team, right now at least, without Kawhi Leonard on the court, for you to make a mistake like that, that's a rookie mistake. All right, and you're looking for a ref to bail you out on a weak call like that. And then this is how players get hot early, especially Dorian Finney-Smith, and knocks a three down in your face. 3 pick and rolls, three bad. Paul George with the blow by. Maxi Cleaver. Defense, y'all. And this defense is not because they can't play D. It's because they don't care about D. They don't have a culture, and they don't have a culture of wanting. They have no closeout discipline. They can't close out on shots without over pursuing or overplaying. 26-7, we see it's getting out of control.
Right now, Mavericks 26. And now you've got Paul George, only starter on the floor right now for the Clippers. He's inside, shoots over Bird, offensive rebound, put back. Zubac.
Back to all last year when the Mavs played him, he did a lot of cleaning up.
Another pick and roll. He chases over. Zubac does nothing. Zubac does nothing. Again, I don't know what they're teaching these Clipper bigs to do on this pick and roll, but I know this can't be what they're teaching them to do. Because now you have 2 bigs. You've had Serge Ibaka on one. Now you got Zubac on another. They're doing the exact same thing, but they're not doing anything. You have to either hedge, you have to switch, or you have to ice the screen. They're not doing anything, and they're continuously chasing over. They're doing a good job of running them off the three-point line, but the big is not doing a good job of communicating these pick and rolls and how they're going to guard it. This starts in practice. This comes from having a short training camp. This comes from just having a lazy coach on defense, not taking defense seriously, hoping to outscore teams. Chases, Zubac's late, easy score by Luka Doncic. Poor pick and roll defense is going to destroy you in the NBA now. Great take right there by Luka Doncic. Not really much you can do about that take right there. That was just a great take. And just 2 swings away. Lou Williams. Got to be able to deny that pass. No help D. Once the man gets into the paint like that, help D needs to be all over him. He should have had at least 2 players on him. We're going to turn around. Good dunk by Zubac right there. Still, the score's getting out of hand, 37-13. Tim Hardaway.
And there's Hardaway, difficult off balance attempt goes in.
Pick and roll, chases over. Swing, swing, bucket. And Dallas is just playing more disciplined. They're not doing anything special. If you watch how Dallas is breaking them down, they're not doing anything special. They're just running their offense against a bad defensive team. Chases over. The big does nothing. Chases over again. I'm going to stop it right there. I want you guys to see that one again. I want you guys to see that one more time. Because again, it's the same situation. Again, this is how they continue. See, the problem is if the Clippers aren't scoring buckets and staying pace with you because they're scoring, and it's going to be hard for them to do this if they don't have a Kawhi Leonard in the game. With this type of defense, this is why they got eliminated from the playoff. This is why Denver was able to come back. This is why Denver has so much confidence playing this team, because they have no pick and roll. They have no set pick and roll discipline. Like normally teams have a set type of defense that they run against pick and rolls, and most teams don't switch it up, and it's based on your personnel. This team should either be hedging and recovering, or they should be icing the screens every time. Zubac looks like he has extremely low defensive IQ, and Serge Ibaka looks like he's never iced a screen in his life. I want you guys to watch this. I want y'all to watch this. Reggie, because a lot of people would blame Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is doing his job perfectly. It's the bigs putting him in a bad situation, because the bigs on this team are not doing anything. Right? And this is what Montrezl Harrell actually was pretty good at. He was pretty good at least showing himself on the ice. Now again, he's undersized. For him to be banging with other bigs in the leagues over the course of a full game, yeah, he would struggle, but he was always active, and you can hear him communicating the ice out. You could even at some games you can hear him yelling out ice, 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 because he's icing the screen. You don't hear Zubac talking at all, even with no crowd. I want y'all to watch this right here. Zubac does nothing. Look at him. Does nothing. Zubac is see, this is stuff right here. This is what a coach will talk about. 45-16, which is pathetic. 16 points, 8 minutes to go in the second. It's a great pull-up. But now Dallas is just completely hot. And you're not really gonna. Wow. I got to see that again. And Cauley Stein, man, I'm glad to see him back, recovering from injury. But again, this tells you right here, going into the playoffs, this is the Clippers' #1 deficiency right here. Their front court play. Serge Ibaka and Zubac aren't getting it done. If this continues all year round, yeah, they might skate away when Kawhi comes back, because Kawhi's good defensively to make up for some of these mistakes, especially off the pick and roll. But over the course of a 7-game series, if they're matching up against a really good team in the West, like the Lakers, or like the Utah Jazz or the Portland Trailblazers, they're going to get beat, y'all, because their bigs are not active. And the #1 thing you have to have in this league right here is a big who talks on defense. This is why Miles Leonard for the Miami Heat got overpaid, because he's the loudest guy on the court, and he's a great teacher of pick and roll defense. Let's watch this again as Cauley Stein just comes in and completely obliterates the Clipper defense and the Clipper bigs, which is, again, this is sad. Sad defense. Great take by Cauley Stein. I love it. Getting out in transition, bigs are running. Finney Smith, I like how he's improved his game. He's improved his game. He's been working on that shot. I like what Dorian Finney-Smith is doing. Pat Beverly over pursuing, gets beat. Pat Beverly, bad play. Luke Kennard, no effort to stop transition. Embarrassing. Now everybody's out here having fun right now. Now it's about how much can we beat you by. Now at this point in time, now it's basically how bad can we beat you? How bad can we embarrass you? Here, now I'm going to show you guys something out of the triangle right there, because Paul George was running it, but they were running a broken aspect of the triangle because they were out of position, which put Paul George on a situation where he had to score on his own. All right. So it's broken right now. This is broken. Normally, Paul George is supposed to be in that corner, right? Paul George is cheated up right here. He's going one-on-one. All right, he's going one-on-one, and now his big is out of place. Now he has to now what Paul George has to do out of the triangle right now, he either has to give it back to Nicholas Batum, who's a below-average three-point shooter at this stage in his career. He's not going to be able to make the pass to Pat Beverly, and the chances of him getting this pass off to Luke Kennard are slim to none because you still got James Johnson, and you see that Dallas has done a good job. Powell is doing a good job of clearing Ibaka out. So now the triangle has been completely blown up because Paul George is playing out of place. He's playing out of place. Now he's got Ibaka sealed. And so now Paul George is essentially playing right now. He's essentially playing 1-on-4. Paul George is by himself on an island with only one option, shoot or pass to Batum. This is called a broken triangle. This is what happens when you try to implement an offensive system and you ain't ready. Because Dallas has completely demolished all of his triangle options. Normally out of the triangle, you have about 5 to 6 passing and scoring options. Paul George, because he's out of place, has given himself 2 options. Terrible offense, and it doesn't surprise me that this team has 18 points right now. All right, so all you people out there that were glorifying Tyronn Lue for implementing the triangle offense, well, it's going to prove it's going to be a thorn in their side all year. Because if Paul George plays like this, out of place and selfish, and goes for these mid-range turnarounds instead of staying in place, waiting for the ball to rotate over here, and then he can flash across. See, normally Paul George just catches it in the corner. If Paul George catches it in the corner, he swings it, and by the time the ball gets back to Luke Kennard, it's Paul George's job to cut through under the basket and catch it in this mid-post right here, and that's where he can dominate. Selfish basketball leads to shots like this, even though he makes it, but again, it's going to lead to you getting blown out 62-18. Transition D will kill you. Paul George again. That's called lack of effort right there. That's effort. Effort. No effort on defense. Batum on Luka is not going to work. Batum on Luka is not going to work. Not at this stage in his career. Tough entry pass, but he got it through. You look at this, when you look at the score, the ending score was 124-73. You would think that, if you would look at the numbers across the board for the Dallas team, you would think that you would have multiple guys scoring 20 and 30 points. No, that's not what you see. This was definitely an effort by committee. Almost everybody, literally everybody on the team scored except the rookie, Tyrell Terry. But everybody on the team scored. Finney Smith, 8 points. Powell, 4 points. Doncic, 24. Tim Hardaway Jr., 18. Richardson, 21. And then when you go down the list of the bench players, Johnson with 5. Kleber with 5. Wes Iwudu with 6. I mean, everybody pitched in, right? But it started on the defensive end. Dallas shot 49% from the field. They were 43 of 87 on the night, 34% from the three-point line. But when we look at the Clippers, man, they settled for threes all night. They were 4 of 33 from the three-point line, 12% from the three-point line. Anytime you're shooting that bad, you need to stop shooting threes, and you need to. And this is what happens. This is what happens when you install an offense that guys don't know how to run properly. What they'll do is they'll resort to just chucking up bad shots. And they resorted to chucking up bad shots today. Look, everybody on the team missed shots with Paul George 0 for 6, Serge Ibaka 0 for 4, Batum 0 for 1, Pat Beverly 0 for 2, Kennard 1 for 6, Pat Patterson 0 for 1, Reggie Jackson 2 of 5, Terrence Mann 0 for 2, Amir Coffey 0 for 2. This is what happens when you put in an offense that guys aren't comfortable running. You're going to have a team that chucks up a lot of bad threes because they don't necessarily know where to attack from. So if they are trying to run the offense, and from what I saw in these highlights, they're running it incorrectly because they're not patient. To run a triangle, you got to have a team that's patient. All right. This is not a patient team. You're dealing with a player in Paul George who plays like feels like he's the only person on the court that knows how to score the basketball. That's how he plays. And as soon as he touches it, instead of going, the triangle is an offense that's about you have to allow it to develop. You can't make one pass out of the triangle offense unless you're coming out of transition or unless the defense completely blunders. There should never be an occasion in the triangle offense where you pass it once and the ball is shot. Paul George needs to allow the offense to develop a little bit more. It will, over time, affect his points per game. But what it does is it starts to wear on teams. It's hard for teams to read all of your options. And what it does is it forces guys to be playmakers. Paul George is going to have to be more of a playmaker out of the triangle offense as opposed to a scorer. And he's trying to play the Kawhi Leonard role. But I don't think they have the personnel. They don't have the discipline. They don't have the culture, nor do they have the players to run that type of offense. This is why we see the Dallas Mavericks demolish the Clippers. So, I mean, again, if we look at the NBA standings, I'm gonna pull up the NBA standings right here. I'm gonna pull it. All right, so here we got our NBA standings right here. So we see that the Orlando Magic are 3-0. The Orlando Magic. Again, this is a team that a lot of people had them not making the playoffs this year after losing Jonathan Isaac. With Mo Bamba not being 100%, a lot of people had this team projected to not. They started off the season 3-0. If we were to overreact, we would say that this team looks primed to get to the NBA Finals. They're not. They may secure a seed between 7 through 10 and get in a play-in game. Other than that, I don't think this team by the end of the year is going to be right there in the playoff mix. The Cavaliers, again, another team that's playing lights out right now. I got to give it to Garland. I got to give it to Isaac Okoro, Andre Drummond. These guys are playing beautiful basketball right now. But again, nobody has the Cavs projected to even make the playoffs. As it stands right now, they're 3-0. They won some tough games. But if we overreact, are we to overreact right now and say the Cavs are world beaters and going to be right there when it's all said and done? No. Same with the Pacers. All right. Pacers are a team that we have maybe a 6 through 8 seed in the East. Most people. All right. Let's not act like they're world beaters right now. They have a great team. They have a great center in Domantas Sabonis. But again, these what you see right now is not how the season's going to end, and we can't overreact off what we see early. All right. The Atlanta Hawks, same thing, 2-0. All right, a lot of people, we know that they greatly improved their roster. All right, but are they world beaters? Are they ready to be champions? No. These early season records and standings is not indicative of what it's actually going to look like when it's all said and done. We got the Sixers at 2-1. I mean, they lost a tough game. Nets 2-1. We just saw the Nets lose to the Charlotte Hornets today. Now, does that mean that Charlotte is better than Brooklyn Nets? Do we overreact and say that Steve Nash needs to get fired because they lost a game to another NBA team who we didn't think was? We know the Nets are a far superior team. But again, it happens in the NBA. You lose games, and sometimes some games get out of control. All right, all you can do, go back to the drawing board, see what you can improve, and fix what you can. Same with the Miami Heat at 1-1, Knicks 1-2. Celtics were 1-2. Again, a lot of these teams right here are going to be at the top of the standings when the season's over. All right, the Hornets are 1-2. Got their first win against the Brooklyn Nets, where I'm sure all the betting favorites, everybody probably put money on the Nets to win that game and cover the spread. They definitely did not cover. Great game by the Hornets, man. Way to stay with it, start to finish. I saw the Hornets start that game. The Hornets started that game strong. I didn't think they would be able to complete that game, but Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham played great. LaMelo Ball came in and gave some solid minutes. PJ Harrison, that man looks solid down there on the block. I like him down there. I mean, that team is full of some young players. I think once they get their roster nailed down and they know what they're moving forward with in the future, that's going to be a team to reckon with. We got to talk about Gordon Hayward. A lot of people saying that this guy's overpaid. He single-handedly was probably the best player on the court today. All right, made timely shots, all right, was able to get defensive stops. He was all over the court with rebounds and assists. I mean, the man does it all. The man does it all. Like, you cannot take this away from him. So as much as we want to knock Gordon Hayward because we don't like his game, it's not flashy. He's not high flying. He's not chucking up deep threes, but he's highly efficient. He just gets the job done. Great game today to help lead that team to a big win. And that's a big confidence booster for a young team. The Bucks 1-2. The Bucks are struggling right now. The Bucks brought in new players. Again, they're struggling right now. They have a new point guard. They have Drew Holiday. All right. They got new players on the bench, Bobby Portis, DJ Augustine. All these players are trying to get implemented and integrated into this system. Normally, you have a training camp and a preseason to do this, to work out the kinks. They're trying to work out the kinks on the fly in the regular season, so it doesn't surprise me that they're starting off kind of rugged. There's no need to worry. The Raptors will be, the Bucks will be right there. Same with the Raptors, who are struggling right now at 0-2. They lost both of their bigs, Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. They have Chris Boucher now at the center spot. They're just trying to readjust. I think they'll be right there in the playoff hunt. But the Bulls took a tough loss today to the Golden State Warriors. And then we have the Washington Wizards 0-3. The Wizards have been in every single game that they played. Their problem is finishing games. And I have the Wizards at least being a top 5 team in the East. After seeing them play, a lot of people were like, no. I think they just need to figure out how to close games, because in almost every game that they've played, they've had the lead and they looked like they were in this. They were in the driver's seat to win all of those games. So again, this is another team that's adjusting to a new player. They traded John Wall for Russell Westbrook. They're adjusting on the fly. They have not had real time to adjust and get ready. So again, let's not overreact. Just because the Clippers did get beat, yes, it was by a record margin. But you know what? A loss is a loss, whether you lose by 1 point or whether you lose by 50 points. There's no such thing as a good loss. There's no such thing as a good loss. Some people might act as if there are. There's no such thing as a good loss. A loss is a loss regardless of what you lose by. You still got to go to the drawing board and fix things. And we can look at the Western Conference as well. I mean, you got the Minnesota Timberwolves sitting at the top of the Western Conference right now at 2-0. Are they the best team in the West? Are they is D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns, are they the most unstoppable duo in the NBA right now because they're 2-0 at the top of the West? Because if you have the nerve to say that the Golden State Warriors are overrated and Steve Kerr needs to get fired and this, that, and the other just because they've lost 2 games, well then I can jump to ridiculous and wild conclusions and say these teams at the top, like the Oklahoma City Thunder, which we know they probably have one of the worst rosters in the NBA right now, sitting at 1-0. What do you want me to say? Should I say that the Oklahoma City Thunder they're next up? They're surprising everybody. The Pelicans 2-1. Lonzo's playing great. Zion and Brandon Ingram are playing great. They're at the 3. Nobody's even talking about them. See, what's so funny is when it's time to give these players credit, like Lonzo Ball and Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, nobody's there to give them their credit. Nobody's there. Lonzo's had actually 3 great games to start the season. No, not a word. Hush on it. Putting up numbers, doing what he's supposed to do, facilitating the offense. I love that combination of Bledsoe and Lonzo. Defensively, that backcourt is going to be solid. Defensively, they're going to be a problem. I don't care what you say. We saw how they got that critical stop against the Spurs to end the game. That happens because you got two defensive beasts in the backcourt. Now, again, offensively, they may be streaky. Bledsoe's going to miss shots. Lonzo's going to miss shots. But at the end of the day, at least you're good somewhere. I mean, it's give or take. Just like what I said about the Clippers, you can't be bad on offense and defense. Pick one. If you're going to be bad at one, don't be bad at the other. All right, and the same thing. The Kings are surprising me that they started the season off pretty good, but I'm not overreacting. The Lakers 1-1. Looks like they may pull out another win against the Timberwolves tonight. Blazers look absolutely atrocious on defense, and we're going to get to those highlights next. We're going to get to those highlights next of the Blazers and Houston Rocket game. And James Harden absolutely torched the Portland Trailblazers, because I got a lot to say about the Portland Trailblazers defense and why my team, the Portland Trailblazers, why they need to trade. They need to get rid of either Dame or CJ to have success. That backcourt right there is terrible defensively. Terrible defensively. And for all the naysayers out there, James Harden is this. He's overweight. He's fat. Okay. Well, he just dropped 44 on your favorite player, Damian Lillard's head. Right? All you people, y'all be kissing these players' ass, and I keep saying y'all need to stop. Like guys like Trae Young and Damian Lillard and Devin Booker, I love these guys to death. But at the end of the day, they only play one side of the ball. They only play one side of the ball. They have no defensive acumen at all, and that's a major problem. All right, Warriors are struggling. I think they'll be in the playoff mix. Mavericks, they have 2 losses, but they just completely demolished the Clippers. All right, do we overreact? Do we overreact and say the Mavericks are next up? All right, do y'all expect me to jump on that bandwagon and say Luka's going to be MVP just because of this performance? No, I'm not doing that. All right, because it's too early in the season to overreact. Nuggets 0-2. Everybody's had the Nuggets projected to be at the top of the West. Are we saying fire Mike Malone? Or let's see, and this is what I mean. We pick and choose who we want to overreact with, because there are a lot of teams in some really funny seeded positions right now because they've either won 2 or 3 games in a row or lost 2 and 3 games in a row, and it's not indicative of where they're going to finish when the season's over. So what I say is, for research purposes only, evaluate these teams, but let's try not to overreact and act as if the season ends tomorrow and the playoffs start tomorrow and these early games matter. There's going to be rust. This is not a normal NBA season. All right. I was on another podcast yesterday, DJ Raw's Uncut Truth, and we were talking about LaMelo Ball. Again, same thing with LaMelo Ball. He cannot get thrust into the fire playing 35, 40 minutes a night. He cannot do that. He's a rookie that hasn't had summer league, training camp, or preseason. They got to ease him in. He probably doesn't even have a firm grasp on the offense or the playbook. All right. And we see how detrimental it can be to a team when you implement a new offense and the team doesn't know how to run it properly. We just watched Paul George and the Clippers get completely embarrassed. They were down 62-18 because they're running an offense that they don't have no business running. But see, a lot of people are gonna blame, Paul George, you can't lead a team. Well, I don't think that when you score 18 points, that's not Paul George's problem. That's a team problem. That's something that we need to go to Tyronn Lue and say, hold on, do we need to reevaluate this offense that you're trying to implement? Because something don't look right there. But we're gonna get off that. I just wanted to break down. Again, let's not overreact to these early games. I mean, the games have been fun, exciting. There's been some surprises. I mean, the Warriors-Bulls game even turned out to be a great game. I mean, who would have thought that game, 2 teams that have been struggling offensively, that game goes down to the wire, and Damian Lee has a big shot to close the Bulls out. So, man, just research purposes only. Watch these games early, learn, do your FanDuel lineups, go pick some winners. Right, go there, but before we start to jump on that bandwagon of firing players and saying that Hall of Fame players are overrated and this, that, and other, and we say dumb basketball takes. Remember, let's not do the dumb basketball takes. All right, there's other channels out there that are reserved for the dumbest basketball takes of all time. Allow them to continue making the dumbest basketball takes all time. We over here at FYF Sports do our research. All right, and we stay sensible with our predictions. All right, but let's go ahead and we're going to get over to the highlights. We're going to get over to the highlights for. All right, so there we have it right here, man. We got highlights for the. All right, hold on one second. Don't look like we got highlights for the Houston Rockets. Hold on, let me talk to Fred. Hold on one second, y'all. Fred, I need you to cue up them highlights for the Houston Portland Trailblazer game. All right, not Ticket TV. I know you watch them a lot in your off time. We on the clock right now. I need you to cue up them highlights, Fred. All right, Fred. Fred. Shit, you know what? I was really hoping that after we drop part 4 or part 3 to the Epic series, exposing all of these 3 characters involved in the framing of CJ. I didn't think we would have to do any more reaction videos to these clowns. All right. But I mean, I guess if you want us to check this clip out, we'll check it out. What's going on over there on Ticket TV today? The video And this is Fred, y'all. I apologize if y'all wanted to get to those highlights of the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trailblazers. We're going to get to those highlights here in a second here. Fred, for whatever reason, wants us to check this clip out right here. I see the W on the screen. I have to assume this is William Byrd on some shenanigans. So we're gonna listen to this clip out that Fred has put up on the screen. I do apologize. We're gonna get to the Houston Rocket game here shortly. Hold on, Fred. I'm gonna hit play on this, Fred. Please don't have no nonsense over here. This at least better be funny, man. We gonna check out what's going on over at Ticket TV. It looks like we got some people on the panel, Hoss and T Streets, whoever these guys are. I wonder where Ticket is. Wait, who cares? Let's just go ahead and get to the video. See what for FYF Fred has in store for us today.
Up, nigga. I know NBA niggas, nigga. I know niggas in the league, nigga. I know niggas that played, nigga. You don't know nobody, nigga. You don't know nobody. Just shut your ass up.
Peanut butter.
Shut your bitch ass up, man. Fuck you talk about, nigga. Fuck ass nigga. Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. I'm from New York, nigga. I know niggas, nigga. You bitch ass nigga. Fuck you talk about.
The truth hurts on Will. That's cool, man. I know, man.
Nigga, you don't know nobody who played pro basketball. Who do you know that played in the NBA? Who do you know that played in the NBA?
Oh man, here we go, man. As y'all can see, we got Will talking here. I guess Will is under the impression that if you know players that play in the NBA, it somehow magically spikes your basketball knowledge up to here. And so now you become a basketball savant because you may know or have had interactions with NBA players. I mean, if that's the case, then Stephen A. Smith is the smartest basketball guy in the world because he knows NBA players, Will. Knowing NBA players is nothing special. They humans too. There's actually some NBA players that don't know the game. I mean, there's pro players that look at Ticket. Ticket's a pro player. He don't really know the game that well. If I'm being honest. That's just being honest. I don't think he really knows the game that well. Whether you play professional, whether you know NBA players, that has nothing to do with understanding the game. Some of the greatest players of all time was basketball dummies. I mean, to be honest, if you look at players like Shaquille O'Neal, he was a low IQ player that bullied his way into being the most dominant force that we've ever seen. And when the rules changed and you couldn't just bowl people over, he didn't know how to adjust his game. He didn't know how to play with finesse. He didn't know how to get around guys. Guys outsmarted him. When the NBA changed rules and turned all of that stuff into fouls, that essentially diminished everything that Shaq could do because he couldn't just bully over people, a low IQ move. And that's not a knock on Shaq. I mean, again, he's still a great player. But having basketball IQ and understanding the game, it's not for everybody. I don't care if you play it or you know pro players or whatever. So Will, man, come on, man. Please, see, Will, you were doing good. See, Will was doing good, y'all. Will had stayed out of the shadows. You know, he stayed in the shadows. After I exposed him, he stayed in the shadows for the most part. He got quiet. People stopped talking about it. And he was doing good. So I please hope that you don't do nothing silly to embarrass yourself on live TV in front of thousands of people, Will. Please don't embarrass yourself, man. But see, the one thing I know is Fred is crazy. Fred is not going to give me no clips where you didn't do something completely stupid. We're gonna play this clip, y'all.
That don't mean nothing, bro.
What does that mean? Who do you know that play in the NBA right now? You don't know nobody.
That don't mean nothing, Will.
Nigga, yeah, it does mean something, nigga. No, it does mean something. It does mean something. Yeah, it does, nigga. Yeah, it does, nigga. Yeah, it does, nigga. Yes, it does mean something, nigga. Fuck you talk about, nigga.
What does that mean?
Fuck out of here. Nigga, what you mean? It means that you know niggas that play on a high level, nigga. Fuck you talking about?
Okay.
Fuck you talking about, nigga? Fuck you talking about, niggas? Nigga, Dr. J my peoples, nigga. Dr. J my peoples, nigga.
Call Dr. J right now. Call Dr. J right now.
Fuck you talk about, nigga?
Call him.
Fuck is wrong with you, nigga?
Peoples, call him.
Fuck, he is my peoples, nigga.
Call
he
him.
from the hood. He from the hood, nigga. This nigga's a bitch. I gotta call him to prove something.
Yeah.
I gotta call him to prove something.
Yeah.
Shut your bitch ass up, man.
Exactly.
Shut your bitch ass up.
That's why I thought, man.
I know Mark Jackson too, nigga. I know Mark Jackson too, nigga.
Call Mark Jackson.
What you talking about, you hoe ass nigga?
Call him.
You a
What's
hoe,
his
nigga. This nigga's a hoe. This nigga want me to prove to
brother's
call niggas to prove that I know. You a hoe ass nigga. You a hoe. You a hoe.
Just like I thought.
Nigga, I know these niggas.
You liar.
What?
You liar. You called your friend last time, so call right now.
I'm a liar? I'm a liar? Now I'm a liar? Okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna make a call now. Don't worry.
Oh, Mr. Moss. Hey, Mr. Moss is cold, y'all. Hey, Mr. Moss is cold, man. See how he psychologically broke Will down? And please don't tell me this man is really going to act like he's about to call Dr. J up, man. Just Mr. Moss just said, you're a liar. Mr. Moss used the most simplest tactic to bait this guy into doing something completely stupid on Ticket TV, man. Mr. Moss used one of the oldest tactics in the world, man. Come on, man, Will. Man, Will. See, hey, this is what got y'all into making them fake accounts, Will. See, because y'all got caught up and y'all got in too deep, and y'all didn't know how to just completely stop. Y'all should have just stopped, dead turkey. Y'all should have just stopped. And y'all was trying to weasel y'all way out of it. Like right now, Will is trying to find a way to weasel himself out of this lie that he's concocted. He first started with the lie, I know people in the NBA. That's a lie. Then he started with the second lie, Dr. J is my people. Then he goes on to say Mark Jackson, I know him too. He's going in too deep. He keeps lying on top of lies. And now they've called him on his lie. They said, call Dr. J. This man Will he does not get enough of making a complete fool of himself in front of thousands of people, man. I'm talking about a complete buffoon, man. Boy, if this man actually acts like he's calling Dr. J, man, I might just shut the whole video down, man. Wow, man. Oh man. Let's get to this video, y'all.
Now you want to? All right, let's go. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
I ain't gonna say shit.
Don't worry. It's coming right along for you. Remember, that's coming right along for you.
Go on, call him.
Go ahead. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, all right.
We're waiting.
Yeah,
Nigga,
all right. You bitch ass nigga. We gonna see. We gonna see. My phone ringing right now. Don't worry. We gonna see. We gonna see.
Hey, pick it.
All right, nigga. My phone ringing right now. So I ain't worried about what you saying.
What you got to text me app, nigga? Shut up, nigga. Text free app.
Yo, family. What up, family?
Shit, I'm watching the game.
These bitch ass niggas be thinking I just be talking on here like I don't have family and nothing like that. These goddamn Bammers are so stupid, bro. These goddamn Bammers are so stupid, fam. Real talk, fam. Niggas stupid, bro.
That nigga, talk. What this shit mean? What this nigga doing?
You know what I'm saying? Nah, these Bammers. Nah, I'm on the shit, right? Because I be talking to my boy and all that. You know what I'm saying? So these Bammers come on there talking crazy, like I'm just talking, bro. Like I just be talking about who I know, and I'm just lying about who I know, bro.
Hey, Julius Ervin, what's up, man?
You know what I'm saying?
What up, Dr. J?
Put him on speakerphone, you right?
On my phone.
The shit is on speaker right now. They think, yo, bro, I got you on the phone right now. These niggas think that I'm lying, bro. I got you on the phone right now, bro.
Lying about what?
Like I'm lying about who my family is.
Hold on. Will, man. All you would have to say right there is they don't believe that you Dr. J. Can you tell them who you are? This man, he dancing around it. This man, oh man, Will, you making yourself. See, this is what I mean, y'all. This is how you know. It's like if y'all had any doubts about my videos and the authenticity of my videos, right? This is how you know my videos exposing this guy are all facts, man. This man literally is on Ticket TV acting like he done called up a random person who don't know what the hell is going on. And he's dancing around this issue, trying to get us to believe that he's really calling Dr. J. Oh man, this is bad right here. Oh man, this is what y'all resort to. This is what's going on over there now. That y'all doing crank calls, faking like it's Dr. J. Y'all doing crank calls, faking like it's Dr. J, man. Oh man, this man done really crank call. Hold on, I hope it's a little bit more to this, man. Ticket needs to immediately shut this down. No outro, no speech at the end. He just needs to cut this video off right now before Will goes in too deep. Will is putting a bad rap on them. It's like I said, this is turning into straight comedy, y'all. This is the new comic view, y'all. Wow.
Who I know and all this type of shit. You feel what I'm saying? This is him on the phone. He's on the phone, bro. He's on the phone. He's on the phone.
He says it's him.
Dr. J? He's on the phone.
I'm on speakerphone, you idiot.
He's on speakerphone, you asshole.
He said he watching the
He's
game,
on speakerphone.
He dead ass said he watching the game.
The nigga's on speakerphone. I got him on speaker.
He dead ass said he watching the game. What up?
He just said he's watching the games. Of course he's watching the games.
I know, that's why
stupid.
I'm repeating them.
Because you said you watching the games right now, and niggas like, oh, he said he's watching the games right now. What else you supposed to be doing?
Well, I'm saying what they want to know, though.
Oh, is this my family on the phone?
Why they were the phone? Who the fuck you talking to?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Because I mentioned
Ticket ended the stream. He ended the stream. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. I can't believe that just happened right there, man. Oh my God. Man, William Bird 84, man. You know, if your credibility wasn't already in the dumpster, boy, you just put the little bit of last little credibility that you had, and you just sprinkled the little last crumbs out of the trash can, you know, that you had right into the trash can, man. Will, how you put your mans on the spot like that? You should have just finessed long enough to shoot your mans a text and say, when I call you, I need you to act like you Dr. J or something to finesse it. You didn't have no time to finesse it. Then you done got somebody else caught up in your whole lie. And when the man asked you, he said, well, what they want to know. You didn't even ask the question that needed to be asked. Man, I keep telling y'all, man. You see, that's why I say, if you didn't think part 1, 2, and 3 was credible, I mean, look at the character of the people that over there, man. This is complete. I mean, you talk about assassinating your own character. The man faked like he was calling Dr. J and called up a random person. That's got to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen, man. The man faked like he was calling Dr. J, man. Wow. This threw my whole video off now, man. Wow. All right, man. Y'all, we're going to get to these highlights and wrap this video up because that is crazy right there. That is absolutely crazy. Let's get to these Portland Trailblazer highlights right here.
In the meantime, you guard him like
all right, now some of you may have already seen this game, but we're going to break this game down. James Harden completely explodes. And I just want you to, I want to give you guys a clear picture of how bad the Portland Trailblazer defense actually is. Gap and James Harden. Hey, and see, they did it. They played defense the way they were supposed to on the most critical play of the game. They did it on the most critical play of the game. And it was actually the Houston Rockets on this particular play that made the blunder because all game, all day, On this same James Harden drive, PJ Tucker normally stays in the corner, right? But what happens? See, what happens? What happens when you actually go stop the ball as a team? Watch what happens when you go stop the ball as a team and you don't worry about that next pass until the pass is made. Watch what happens, man. Because look, now you have 3 bodies on Harden. You got Jones Jr., you got Nurkic, and you got Covington. All 3 in the paint, stopping the ball. Watch what happens. We get a hand on it, we get a steal. They did it one time correctly all night, and it saved the game for them. They blundered it. This game would not have been close had they been doing that the whole entire game. Make them make the next pass. Make PJ Tucker beat you by shooting those corner threes. All right, let me run that back for you again, because that was beautiful defense right there, and luckily they did it on the last play of the game. I know this is something that Terry Stotts is probably telling them over and over again. You guys got to go commit to guarding the ball as a unit and quit leaving the paint wide open. They finally did it correctly. James Harden drives. What happens? You see, he's showing himself big. Yusuf Nurkic is showing himself big. You got Derrick Jones Jr. chasing, so I like that. You got Covington. He's just not standing here. What is Covington doing? Covington is saying, "Yep, my man Christian Wood might be able to make this shot, but you're gonna have to be able to make that pass in the clutch to him." All right, they're making James Harden make the play. All right, they're not just gonna give him and let him waltz in for the layup. Look now, Yusuf Nurkic stays. Even though there's a lot of ground for Nurkic to cover, if they swing it to PJ Tucker, if PJ Tucker's not out of space. So I think what threw James Harden off, if you look at his eyes here, he's hoping that PJ Tucker is in the corner. Which, if he's in the corner, he's going to be able to make that pass. But because he's not in the corner, Covington's right in this passing lane to stop the dump down layup right here. So just by Covington shading over, being that third help defender, he actually saved the game and gets the steal. Just by going over there and not being a shadow like Dame and CJ do time and time again. Instead of actually committing to guarding the ball, go in there and make a play. Make them make a play, and it turns into something positive. And that turns out to be the game right there. That turns out to be the game, man. Portland Trailblazers, they hang on. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to do a quick breakdown. Of this, of these 2 games, just to kind of show you some of the things that I see from my end. So as opposed to jumping to conclusions about these teams, trying to ascertain if they should fire coaches, if they should trade players, if guys are overrated or underrated, what you can start doing is you can just start breaking these games and matchups down sensibly, and then you can say, look, like for me, if the Blazers continue to play defense like this, they'll find themselves either out of the playoffs or having such a low seed that they'll have to play the Los Angeles Lakers again in the first round. That's what's going to happen. Now, I'm not gonna. They may change it up. They may defensively get better. That last sequence of the game, maybe Terry Stotts will take him in and say, look, if you guys actually commit to playing defense like this, imagine how many more stops we can get. We saved the game because we committed and played defense the right way that last play, and we made James Harden make a play. He turned the ball over. But as long as you're allowing guys to just waltz in and you're too scared to go over there and force the action and create the action with your defense, James Harden's going to have nights like he had tonight. With James Harden, 44 points, 17 assists, 4 rebounds. This game could have been much easier had you committed to walling up in the paint, making James Harden make more plays. And again, he had 17 assists. But again, you cannot allow James Harden to waltz in and score 44 easy points. All right, because nobody else had over 13 points. Tate had 13. Nwaba had 10. House had 11. PJ Tucker had 7. So all of those corner threes to PJ Tucker, he may not have been. He might have been missing them. PJ Tucker's not going to drop 40 on you from the quarter 3-point line. All right, he's just not that type of player. Make them move the ball to players like that, and you allow those guys to beat you, but you don't allow James Harden to keep a team like this, who the next best player on this roster was PJ Tucker and Daniel House. All right, nobody knows what David Nwaba is. Nobody knows who Jason Tate is. All right, nobody knows who Cabaloca is. Nobody knows these guys. Y'all allow borderline twos, in second and third string players to really stay in a game. And when Portland had essentially their full roster on the court, they had essentially their full roster on the court. Enes Kanter with 10, Lillard with a quiet 32, CJ with 44. I mean, it took a monumental effort. It took a monumental effort from the Portland Trailblazers just to beat a depleted Houston Rocket team because of their poor defense. So again, I want y'all let me know what you think about this video right here. But let me know what you think about my take on not just the Clipper and the Dallas game, but this game as well. What did you guys see? What did you guys see defensively and offensively? Let me know in the live chat. I know you guys are probably chopping it up about that. If you guys are some of you still might be laughing off that Will footage, man. For Will to act like he was calling Dr. J and call up some random guy. I mean, right there. I mean, if I'm being like in all seriousness, right there, that's classless. That's putting salt on Dr. J's name. And again, when you start to allow liars and people like that to be on your platform, and not just be on your platform, you're allowing them to go on your platform unfiltered. You're allowing people like that to go on your platform unfiltered and just kind of tarnish your channel's reputation. I mean, it's not a surprise to me. That's why it's not a surprise that the channel over there is dying. And that's just facts. That's not hate. That's facts. The channel over there is dying because of people like that. It's just sad that you got to allow somebody on your platform like that who will actually come on there and lie about calling Dr. J on live. Call up a random guy. I mean, what if Dr. J actually watches the show? Like y'all don't know some of the people that actually watch the show. Like, I didn't know representatives from Manscaped.com, Manscaped, and make sure you guys use the coupon code FYF Crew at manscaped.com for 20% off your order and free shipping. But I didn't know people from manscaped.com would tune in to FYF Sports and would think that partnering with us will be a great opportunity for their company. But they saw it. So again, y'all got to understand the people that actually might be watching you. Ticket, at the end of the day, even though his channel is dying, it's still a fairly large platform, and a lot of people actually tune in to watch some of the buffoonery that goes on over there. Don't go over there making a mockery of yourself and making a mockery of the game, making a mockery of the sport that we actually chop it up about on a daily basis. Like, we really be chopping it up about basketball. And then we got phonies who will literally not just do some of the shady stuff that you did with CJ. We saw how pathetic that was, and you've been exposed for that. All right. But now you're going as far as crank calling like you're really calling Dr. J. So it's a situation got so bad and reckless, the Ticket had to shut the live down. Like again, y'all, it's just like one of the guys said in there, respect the platform, man. Respect the platform. This is not a platform for you to come on here and gloat and talk about who you know and how much money you make and how hard you are. And this ain't the platform for that. We just here to talk basketball. That's why I respect all my subscribers here at FYF Sports. We don't have none of that nonsense over here. And that's just why we're going to keep growing. We're going to do our thing going into 2021. So again, I'm glad FYF Fred brought that video out here, because again, it's just more. It just exposes the character of some of these clowns that we see running around here on a daily basis. But you guys, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about that right there. And let you know what, just in salute, man. Because we gotta help recover Dr. J's name off there, because I know the real Dr. J don't want to have nothing to do with no William Byrd. Let's go ahead, because we still got our $1,000 Cash App giveaway that's coming. All right, you know what? Everybody spam up hashtag Dr. J, hashtag Dr. J in the comments, not in the live chat, but in the comments of this video. Like the video, subscribe, and make sure you hit the hashtag Dr. J. We're gonna put some respect on Dr. J's name, man, because we've already had Will out here just completely trying to tarnish the man's name, reputation. Dr. J was one of the greatest players this game has ever seen, and this man is out here just trying to throw salt all over and then try to crank call like you really calling a man. Come on, man. Hashtag Dr. J so we can put some more respect on Dr. J name. I salute to everybody for watching, man. We're going to be back when this video drops. We will be going live the day that this video dropped. I know I've been taking a few days off of going live, but again, like I say, it's about quality over quantity. I'm not just going to just throw stuff out there and not be ready, not have legitimate topics to talk about. When we have our conversations, I want it to be about stuff that's real and that matters. I don't want to have to make up fake topics and fake narratives to talk on if there ain't none out there. So again, we're going to be going live tonight. We got a lot to touch on. We got a lot of basketball to talk about. So make sure you guys bring your thinking hats for research purposes on. Hey, but it's FYF Sports, man. It's been another great podcast video. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Grinding 18K. All right. But it's FYF Sports.